How are you?
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me and all of our wonderful readers and viewers because we have something really, really exciting. I can't wait to share with everyone. We have the launch of the Bomb Brow Full and Fluffy. I'm so excited about this. Tell me all about this. Let's go back to the beginning. How long has this been in the works?
So all of our products generally take a little bit of time to create. And this one actually didn't take as much time as some of the more complicated products. It took about 2 years to develop. This came out of the desire to control my very unruly brow hairs. They don't listen. So, I've tried a lot of brow mascaras, I've tried brow lamination, I've tried so many things. And, we wanted to kind of combine the ability to keep your brows in place and not make it too stiff with, just pigment and fiber to create a very fluffy brow. So it's a beautiful product. It's, I think it's my favorite out of our brow collection, which is, hard to pick your favorite, but I'm obsessed with it.
You mentioned as well, that you've done a lot with your eyebrows. How has your relationship changed? Because I know for a lot of us, it's kind of an intense one, especially growing up.
Yeah, and brows are, there's so many very high expectations on brows right now. People expect you to have beautiful brows all the time. And the reality is everybody's also working. There's so much pressure to just have your brows in place, but also, keep up with the yoga, the family plans, the friend plans, and also work. And so it's like, who has time to do their brows, and spend 30, 40 minutes. But the reality is, we do. With our new Full and Fluffy Brow, it makes it so much quicker. It really cuts that time down, and it makes it just so much easier to create a perfect brow.
Now, this is really interesting because it has fibers in it. Even I was playing around with it a little bit beforehand. Can you talk us through that technology a little bit and how that works?
Yeah, so, a lot of brow mascaras that are out there, there really are very many different ways that they actually control your hairs. And we wanted to go a little bit more the waxy route. So this way it would give you control, but it wouldn't be too stiff, because that was something we noticed. And we wanted to make sure you could have, your brows stay in place and it wouldn't move, but then you wouldn't feel like as if, they would be like very stuck or very hard or they had a potential of like flaking, which also happens sometimes when they're too stiff. And then adding these brow fibers, we noticed actually even improved the stiffness even more. So it kind of gave it more flexibility. And also it gives your brows a lot of volume, which is really nice. It makes it look like you actually have brow hairs, as well as, if you apply it with the right technique, you can actually mimic brow hairs as well. So, I actually love to use the very tiny tip, and I'll just take it. I actually shaved this brow completely, like this half of my brows, there's nothing that exists. And I will take the tip of, the Full and Fluffy. And what I'll do is I will actually just take it and let me just show you really quickly. I'll just kind of like do these little strokes. And what happens is the fibers, I don't know if you can see them, give you a little bit of a more hair-like stroke, which is really, really great. It's so great for creating, that kind of that stroke. And then with the fibers being there, you really get that dimension. It's so effective. I don't know why it doesn't show up on camera that well, but it looks amazing in person.
I'm gonna actually try that quickly now, because I know I have quite thick brows, but I've been losing volume in them, and I noticed actually kind of in the arches too, a lot of people struggle with keeping them full. So it's nice that there's kind of that option of having either, individual if you need more volume, or maybe just adding it and touching up. But yeah, I'm gonna give that a shot. Just quickly, obviously, while I'm sort of doing this and trying this out, I know that for a lot of us, you've got a young daughter, Nour, too, sort of coming of age, and I think usually it's around that time between the preteens when we start to get a little bit more conscious about, our brows, I guess. That's usually sort of one of our first ventures into the beauty. What sort of advice are you going to share with her, obviously, now we're just sort of going to the future too, about brows?
It's so funny because, she is really wanting to play with makeup, and, she's just started a new school as well. So she wants to put liner on and blush and all these things. And she does kind of sneak away from me. And I'll notice, she'll come to me and I'll notice she was wearing makeup and she took it off. But of course, I'm a makeup artist. I know when you were wearing makeup and you tried to take it off. So, she's playing and experimenting. And the one space I always tell her not to touch is her lashes and her brows. I'm like, don't touch them. But, every once in a while she will grab a razor and try to shape her brows. And I'm like, this is going to take some time to grow back. So, brow hairs like lashes are a little bit more, difficult to deal with. They take up to 7 to 8 weeks to grow back. If you pluck them the wrong way, they have the potential of never growing back. You can damage the follicles. So you really do want to be very careful with it. We've all had the 90s and, the crazy brows that we all regret. And I don't want her to go through that. So it's a lot of nourishing, a lot of castor oil, a lot of argan oil, on the brows, and just not really letting her do more than that.
Have you ever had any sort of brow flops or regrets in the past? Can you share them with us?
For a period of time where, it's very thick in the front and it's like got a little tail. I did that. That wasn't great. I don't think I did it as severe as most people did, but it was not a good look. And I was like, why is my face it doesn't look right? And, it looks like a little bit like a tadpole. It wasn't a very good brow.
So my last question for you is just, who is your greatest eyebrow inspiration? Because there have been some great eyebrows throughout the time. So I'm curious to know what your favorite is.
Yeah, I definitely love the 70s and the 60s for brows. I think they were really nice and fluffy. I really liked Sophia Loren. She was like late 60s. She's beautiful. And, she just had these really beautiful, stunning, bushy brows. And I thought they were just beautiful.
Amazing. Well, thank you for taking the time to have a quick chat with me. We're all very excited here at Harper's. And best of luck. And we can't wait to experiment more with it and play around.
Thank you, Laura. So nice speaking with you.
It was nice speaking with you too. Take care.